So today I am going to share with you 3 different cues that you can use if your child is fronting or backing. Now, the reason why I say fronting or backing is because you basically just flip the cues around that I'm going to be showing you today to give the child feedback on what they need to do to be accurate or correct. Now, one of my favorite things to do is to introduce these concepts, make it meaningful for the child so that they actually understand and they can relate it to themselves. And one of the ways I like to do this is I like to talk about front sounds and back sounds. Now you can see here we've got this front and a back of a peacock. And I like to explain to the children that there are sounds that we make at the front of our mouth, like tss and d, our tongue's right at the front, but then there are sounds that we make at the back of our mouth, k and g. And the nice thing about back sounds is that you can see when your tongue goes back because your mouth is open, k and g. So we kind of use these little cues here. And so if the child says a word with their front sound, you can take away this back sound card and be like, you just used your front sound then. Make sure you open up your mouth and you put your tongue at the back and you use that back sound. So that's why we've included this little peacock. If your child is a little bit more visual, we have got these little mouth cards here for like the t and g and the k. Like t and d and k and g, so that can be helpful, especially if they just need something nice and big like this, and you can hold it up and show the child, your tongue goes back there. But another way that I like to talk about it is to talk about like a throaty sound, because k and g, it's kind of made back there in the throat. So I might refer to it as like a throaty sound, and potentially this is something that I can shape. And what I mean by shape is we might make a sound that's back here, and then we can practice it and turn it into a k or a g a little bit more. And this is because these sounds can be quite hard for our little kids to make. So we've got our throaty sound, k and g, and we contrast that with our tapping sound. Now the reason why we call it tapping is because t and d taps up against our teeth. So if your child uses a tapping sound when they're supposed to be using a throaty sound back here, you can show the child. I like as well we've included this cue because you can start to use these little gestural cues so that the child can feel that. So that's nice. We've also got an extra cue in here, and it's for palatal fronting. So it's for the S versus SH. So we have our smiley sound and we're cueing the lips here, versus our quiet sound, shh. So you can let the child know if they need to use their quiet sound, not their smiley sound, when you're using the minimal pair cards. So I hope that kind of makes sense, and you can see how, if you're going through clients in your head right now, you might think, do you know what? I think throaty sound and tapping sound would be really good for them, but I think front and back would work for that client as well. And that's why we've included all these different cues in these decks, because you never know what's going to click with your child. So again, they can be found in the fronting and backing minimal pair card decks.